Let's just dive right into this explainer. We're constantly talking about the trillion-dollar AI boom, right? The algorithms, the massive NVIDIA chips, the sprawling data centers. But today, we're uncovering a completely hidden human assembly line that is frantically paddling right beneath the surface. Wait until you hear about this leaked internal briefing we found. It completely pulls the curtain back on the actual human mechanics keeping these massive models functioning.
Right out of the gate, we're looking at a wildly bifurcated gig economy. Literally, two groups of people are performing ostensibly the exact same tasks, but one is commanding a massive premium. On one side, you've got thousands of generalist workers grinding out basic ranking tasks for, 15 to 20 bucks an hour. But then, on those exact same platforms, there's this elite class of senior data professionals pulling in $50 or even way more per hour.
So, to understand this crazy wage gap, we first really need to understand RLHF. That stands for Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback. If you've ever wondered why ChatGPT doesn't just, spit out total gibberish, well, this is exactly why. These models are brilliant, sure, but they don't natively know how to interact with us. They require a massive human workforce to actively teach them behavior, reasoning, and factual accuracy. It's an absolutely essential human-driven data pipeline.
Here's the crucial point. Making the leap to that $50 an hour tier, it isn't about typing faster, it's not about hustling harder, it is entirely about hitting this incredibly punishing data integrity metric, 99.9%. Seriously, management of these AI companies does not care if a worker only completes 2 tasks in a whole hour, provided those 2 tasks are absolutely computationally flawless.
And honestly, the business logic behind that staggering payroll, it actually makes perfect sense. Unteaching an AI's bad habits is so incredibly expensive. Neural networks don't just store information in neat little rows that you can casually delete if a cheaper worker messes up. No, flaws get baked directly into the foundational weights of the model itself. So tech companies gladly pay master plumbers top dollar to act as an operational insurance policy. They're paying to prevent the foundational model from flooding with corrupted data in the first place. Plus, hitting these high scores grants these pros preferred worker status, unlocking private, highly lucrative projects.
To guarantee that 99.9% perfection rate, these top-tier earners rely heavily on what leaked internal briefings actually call the Core 5 toolset, which sits right there on their desktops. We're going to walk through each of these right now, because they really prove that sheer human willpower just isn't enough to prevent errors. You absolutely need a rigorous technical stack. Section 1. The syntax of precision, eliminating technical errors.
Okay, let's look at the first tool in this stack. Since training data involves these deeply nested arrays of prompts, critiques, and revisions, dropping just a single bracket can literally crash the ingestion engine. Humans are frankly terrible at maintaining perfect syntax over hundreds of lines of code. So to ensure their data is strictly machine-ready, these pros use strict external JSON formatters and validators. They just strip the potential for human syntactical error entirely out of the equation before they even hit submit. Now, to prevent massive logical errors, these professionals don't just eyeball model-generated code. They treat it like a bomb disposal expert testing a suspicious wire in a blast-proof chamber. You simply cannot validate a complex SQL query just by reading the text. That is a recipe for disaster. Instead, by executing code in local SQL sandboxes, think like a local SQLite instance or a secure browser-based IDE, the human essentially acts as a strict senior software QA tester. They're literally grading the AI's coding homework to ensure it doesn't break the build. They run the sandbox execution checks, they verify output tables, they catch infinite server loops, and they fix Cartesian joins. That correction, that deep logic testing, is exactly what the AI company is paying a premium for. Moving on to Section 2, corralling the machine, alignment, flow, and truth. Compiling code is really just the baseline. These workers also have to control the messy, totally unpredictable side of human language. Because, while an AI might possess the sum total of human knowledge, it still desperately needs a human with a clipboard to basically act as a strict behavioral style guide. It's like corralling a highly unpredictable genius toddler. You have to remind it to put its shoes on and use its indoor voice. They don't just want a general answer. They have hyper-specific rules and constraints that the AI must follow. Instead of relying on memory, like the $15 generalists might, the pros use private prompt libraries and constraint checklists. They treat these exactly like strict aviation pre-flight checklists. They're actively searching for negative constraints before approving any output.
We're talking examples like ensuring there are exactly 3 bullet points, that it strictly adheres to a ninth grade reading level, checking that absolutely no passive voice is permitted, and ensuring specific tone adherence.
And this leads us to the fourth tool, ETL frameworks, which stands for Extract, Transform, Load. What's really interesting here is how freelancers use these enterprise frameworks to actively normalize the data. They don't just look at an output and say, yeah, looks good. No, they extract the messy AI text table and they act as a transform layer. They convert timestamps to strict ISO 8601 formats, they strip out currency symbols so columns read as pure integers, and then they load that frictionless data into the training database. They make sure it slides perfectly into the next iteration of the model.
But wow, the stakes get even higher when we talk about factual accuracy. A single hallucinated fact passed through by a worker degrades model trust by a factor of 10 compared to a simple syntax error. 10 times the damage. A hallucination, if you're not familiar, is when an AI confidently invents a historical event or a scientific paper simply because it sounds statistically probable.
Because an AI hallucination is literally the primary reason for a permanent account ban, these workers must use advanced fact-checking suites to mathematically prove the machine right or wrong, usually under super tight deadlines. They become digital detectives. They use advanced Boolean search operators, cross-reference claims on JSTOR, search PubMed databases, use reverse image verification, the whole shebang. Their sheer survival on the platform depends entirely on hallucination hunting and not letting a single lie slip through.
Section 3. The automation paradox. A dangerous game. This brings us to a rather brutal labor dynamic. Multi-billion-dollar platforms completely offload the risk of their AI's unreliability directly onto the independent contractor. If the AI hallucinates, the worker takes the shrapnel and loses their livelihood. To survive this massive pressure, these professionals master these 5 rigid tools to create an impenetrable quality shield around their jobs. A machine can generate code fast, sure, but it can't simultaneously police its own logic in a sandbox, enforce multi-step negative constraints, act as an ETL transform layer, and fact-check against academic databases. This deep human logic, combined with the core 5 tools, mathematically proves their irreplaceable value.
But here is the fascinating, almost totally ironic paradox of this entire hidden economy. The human worker's defense, the very shield they use to protect themselves from AI, is built entirely out of rigid binary testing and formatting rules. But what is the AI's greatest strength? Following explicitly established rules perfectly. The very systems AI is uniquely positioned to learn next are these exact validators, checklists, and sandboxes. It compiles or it doesn't. So it really leaves us with a profound final thought about the future of human labor in the age of AI. These workers are relentlessly teaching the AI to be better while simultaneously using their rigid toolsets to justify why the AI still needs them. We might pay a massive premium for a master plumber today to prevent our models from flooding with corrupted data, but how long until a secondary AI simply automates the QA tester out of the loop completely? Seriously, what happens to the plumber when the pipes learn to fix themselves?